We have been told that every word in the Bible was inspired by God. It's clear that everyone of the over 2 billion people, including a lot of black people, believe. The question then comes, is it a sin for Christians or Hebrews to make decisions by casting lots? What does the Bible say about casting lots, which is a practice that is known to have occurred amongst Africans? Biblical divination, casting lots, and African quantum physics are practice. Jesus said, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." And then the soldiers divided up his clothes by casting lots. Luke 23:34, right on that very sacred occasion. What would a Christian say when we supply verse after verse, evidence after evidence that cast lots is right there in the Bible? Urimi, fire tongue, Thummim, stumamina. So send a fire tongue or reveal by a fire tongue, which is Urim and Thummim, which was worn by the priest, which was used by the priest. In Exodus it says, "Take 2 onyx stones and engrave on them the names of the sons of Israel, in the order of their birth, 6 names on one stone and remaining 6 on the other, and engrave these names and use these as filigree settings and fasten them in an ephod and wear it on your chest as a memorial stones for the sons of Israel. And Aaron shall bear this name on the shoulders before the Creator." Why would God do this? Now we know that this is a series of high probability and high chance where we use certain entities to divine or to find answers. It is called cleromancy, which is a form of sortition, which is casting of lots, in which an outcome is determined by means that normally would be considered random. That's the key to this issue, random, such as the rolling of dice, but sometimes believed to reveal the will of the Creator, so-called God, or other supernatural entities. It's everywhere. Even quantum physics has come around from being atheistic to really believing and discovering these entities and these realms. So this is a form of mathematics, very high mathematics. Let's give biblical verses. You see this quote? How do we interpret the following verses that we shall supply now? The Jubilee Bible, you read in Leviticus 16:8. You say, "Aaron shall cast lots upon the 2 he goats, 1 lot for the Lord and the other for Azazel." Azozarura. That's Azazel. Azozarura. In other words, release that and let him go into the bush. And lot in Hebrew is gorau. Gorau. It's a corruption of gura. Gura means make a ruling. Gura mutongo. When Aaron does that, this is the goat that is sent into the bush. It's an African tradition. Why would the Creator do that? Why can't he just come and clear the sin without the scapegoat? Because one of the lots 2 defines the one which is called a scapegoat. Mbudzi yokurasira. Now this is a tradition that a lot of Christians will look down upon. More verses. Did God inspire these verses? In the New Testament, you see in Matthew 27:35, "And when they had crucified him, they divided up his clothes among themselves by casting lots." Acts 1:26, "And they drew lots for them, and the lot fell on Matthias, and he was added to the 11. This is the Judas Iscariot replacement. Then Numbers 33:54. It also shows that. Now, more proof. African healers threw bones, throwing bones. They did that long back. In the Bible culture, in 1 Samuel 14:41-42, "Therefore Saul said to the Lord, the God of Israel, give a perfect lot. And Jonathan and Saul were taken, but the people escaped. Saul said, cast lots between me and Jonathan, my son, and Jonathan was taken." This is Zaru. When these bones, there are certain words that you chant and you speak. One of them is Zaru. In other words, open. Or that means take that one, or take this way, or do it another way. When you go into the book of Esther 3:7, you find that in the first month, which is the month of Nisan, in the 12th year of King Ahasuerus, Pura, that is the Lord. Pura, in other words, hit or place it on the ground or throw it on the ground, was cast before Haman from day to day and from month to month until the 12th month, that is the month of Adar. Why? Every day they were casting lots. When you go into Proverbs 16:33, it says, the Lord is cast into the lap, but its decision is from the Lord. That randomness we spoke of is spoken there. So casting lots is biblical. They have given verses. Now I think this is about the 10th verse. 1 Samuel 10:22, that Samuel brought all the tribes of Israel near, and the tribe of Benjamin was taken by lot. Casting lots, Jonathan, I have given this, that give a perfect lot. Casting lots, Achan's guilt ascertained by casting lots. Joshua in the morning, they couldn't find who had stolen that cloth. So in the morning, then you shall come near by your tribes, and it shall be that the tribe which the Lord taketh by lot, the Lord himself will take and make a decision using lot. Casting lot, we have seen the scapegoat chosen, used in captivity. In Nehemiah 11:1, now the leaders of the people lived in Jerusalem, but the rest of the people cast lots to bring one out of the 10 to live in Jerusalem. So they wanted people to go into Jerusalem, so they cast lots. You know the story of Jonah in the ship going to Tarshish, running away. So even the Gentiles cast lots so that they may learn why they were facing that calamity. There are more verses about this. Joshua 18:10, 1 Chronicles 6:61, casting lots for the garments of Jesus divided. We have already shown that. In Psalms 22:18 says, they divided my garments among them, and for my clothing they cast lots. We know that. John 19:23-24 said, let us not tear it, but cast lots. These are Roman soldiers casting lots, priests and Levites designated into the sanctuary by casting lots. You can find this in Nehemiah 10:34. Ancient Africans originated the casting of lots. Items like bone, a cowrie shell, piece of cloth, all have over a dozen different meanings. This is a form of higher mathematics. You can see them there, and that enter quantum mechanics. A high estimates probability, and chance correlates with quantum physics. At this point, this offers an explanation of the world on the smallest scale, proving that casting lots is a communication practice that defies time in a manner that fundamentally dismantles implications of ordinary logic. It is scientific and truly counterintuitive. All quantum themes are similar to those of casting lots in all probabilities. You can see that's a mathematical chart. When you cast a dice, you come up with 64 permutations, out of which you should be able to provide interpretations. And it's called entanglement, which has been explored in the last 30 years and poses an omnipresent randomness capable of manifesting itself simultaneously in more than one places at one time. Here's what James Oxman, PhD physics, said. In a few decades, scientists have gone from a conviction that there is no such thing as an energy field around the human body to an absolute certainty that it exists. Moreover, science is explaining the roles of energy fields in health and disease. This is exactly what all our ancient ancestors knew via systems of Sangoma, systems of trance, and many other philosophical angles. A Sangoma enters this quantum world or this world via trance. Such astonishing non-locality is more than just an abstract curiosity or paradox. It is entirely down-to-earth applications in casting lots. The Nganga, for example, reveals information demonstrating a certain quantum teleportation whose infinite possibilities even science fiction writers are not capable of even imagining. There is an image of how quantum physics proves the supernatural of consciousness during the out-of-body experience. It's very clear. You can find it on this website that is shown there. You study a little bit of quantum physics and you will come out with this understanding that our ancestors showed us how to reconnect into the frequencies or frequency above. Casting lots is indeed divine and follows certain divine laws. Offers answers if done rightly, yes. As our quantum realists, our ancestors proved beyond any reasonable doubt. And let us rebuild and think about this very seriously, because this is a system that we should learn. It engages us in quantum physics, in higher mathematics. It improves our thinking and our understanding. This is Priest Teacher by LM Tumizulu. Subscribe to our channel, Hamiti Hebrew Ethics. These are the contacts which you can use. Thank you. Goodbye.